I pray for whoever did this. I pray for that person, and I pray that they find the Lord and that they get to love the Lord because the Lord loves them.
So for the past 2-3 months, I've decided to expand myself into Bay properties and look for properties out, here in Galveston.
Court records show Genesee Moreno's first brush with the law came almost 20 years ago, and she has had a string of misdemeanor cases since then. Over that time, she also posted sporadically on social media, including this video where she talks about it on her YouTube channel.
Anyone can create a social media account. It takes nothing but 2 minutes, and you're on Instagram.
Not only posted selfies, but also a picture of a weapon in 2020, adding in the captions, "How does one clean an AR-15? That's the same year her ex-husband filed a disturbing affidavit as part of their divorce. In the 4-page document, Enrique Carranza says, "As soon as we were married, my wife became abusive. Jeffrey is a diagnosed schizophrenic, so daily it was a new battle or a fight in her realm."
Neighbors tell me they've called police dozens of times over the years after they felt Genesee Moreno put their lives in danger.
I mean, we've been living in fear for the past, 3 years. She pulled a gun on somebody. She, I guess, painted a swastika on one of the neighbors' fences. Neighbors have been reporting this person for 3 to 4 years to county, city, and federal law enforcement, and nothing's been done.
Wow.
So we're late to the game. Mm-hmm. I mean, look what happened. She's trying to kill people in a church.
And not only the shooting, but also how a parent would take their child with them to carry out a possible mass shooting.
Yeah, the 7-year-old little boy was rushed here to Texas Children's Hospital after he was shot in the head on Sunday, after investigators say his own mother took him to Lakewood Church with her, and they say she pulled out an AR-15 and opened fire. In these court documents, her mother-in-law makes it clear there were accusations against Moreno that she suffered Munchausen syndrome by proxy and was making her own son sick.
These perpetrators in general operate with a great deal of deception and manipulation. They're a very dangerous criminal in that they'll deliberately torture their own child.
The court documents in Moreno's divorce state nurses found adult pills in her son's endotracheal tube while he was in the hospital, then found more pills in his feeding tube. The court records also say the 7-year-old wasn't potty trained, was still using a feeding tube, nonverbal, and that the child has, quote, suffered by his mother ignoring medical advice, not taking him to therapies for eating, speech, and not giving him any social interaction. Medical professionals feared Moreno, quote, intentionally caused her preterm labor, causing her son to be born prematurely, a child, according to the documents, Moreno saw as an object, which these professionals say are often signs of Munchausen.
Houston police identifying the deceased shooter as 36-year-old Genesee Yvonne Moreno, telling NBC News she was carrying an AR-15 with the word Palestine written on it. A search of Moreno's home yielding ingredients to make explosives and written material with a very clear message.
We do have some anti-Semitic writings that we have uncovered during this process.
Law enforcement records show Moreno had at least 6 prior arrests since 2005, including weapons charges. In 2016, authorities also placed Moreno under an emergency detention order.
She does have a mental health history that is documented.
Witnesses say Moreno was wearing a trench coat and backpack when she walked inside the church. Her 7-year-old son next to her when she and 2 off-duty officers began exchanging gunfire.
In fact, police have identified the shooter as Genesee Moreno, who sometimes used the alias Jeffrey Escalante.
Well, they tell us she had recently wrapped a contentious divorce and custody battle, that her former mother-in-law is actually a rabbi, which they believe may have motivated some of the anti-Semitism she's accused of. Still, they don't believe that's what prompted the shooting. Instead, they're blaming this all on mental illness. Moreno was killed, her son shot in the head, and a security guard wounded in the shootout that followed.
The system failed her, yeah. And, yeah, the system failed the little boy, too.
She wrote that, quote, fault lies in Child Protective Services of Montgomery County and Harris County that refused to remove custody from a woman with known mental illness that was not being treated and with the state of Texas for not having strong red flag laws. Now,
authorities believe the woman who opened fire inside the building yesterday attended the church.
Overnight, agents with the FBI, Texas Rangers, and ATF raided a Conroe home believed to be connected to Moreno.
Other things that we know at this point in regards to the investigation. Our shooter is identified by driver's license as Genesee Moreno, 36 years old, Hispanic female. There are some discrepancies. We do have reports she used multiple aliases, including Jeffrey Escalante. So she has utilized both male and female names, but through all of our investigation to this point, talking with individuals, interviews, documents, Houston Police Department reports, she has been identified this entire time as female, she, her, and so we are identifying her as Genesee Moreno, Hispanic female.